Hey there guys, thanks for clicking on and tuning in for today's episode of Mr. Cuddly's Top 4 Players. And I'm pretty certain you've guessed it by now, I am Mr. Cuddly and these are my top 4 players. Welcome back guys. So this is my top 4 countdown of players I have personally used outside the Premier League and of course taken them into the Premier League. We have a few gems on here guys, so you don't want to miss out. So without further ado, I think we need to go to number 4 on the list guys. Let's go check him out. On my list, as you can see on the screen in front of you, is Yaku Mite of Reading FC. So, I've known about this guy. He can play pretty much on the right-sided of the front three, or he can play up front. He's a big, strong guy. His current ability really amazes me. So, if you've never used this guy in the Championship, honestly, people, he is so strong. His physicals, I tell you, they just get him past players. He runs past players like they are not even there. So, let me tell you a little bit about Yaku Mite. I was in a Reading save. And before I decided to purchase anyone or try it alone, I thought I'd look at what I had. And I bypassed this guy. I didn't think he would be the sort of player I'd want in my team. And what I mean by that is I wasn't looking to play with two wingers or anything. I was looking to play a defensive, maybe a 4-5-1, and he wouldn't fit in a defensive winger position. It's not his style, it's not his game. So I wasn't doing very well, and I was on the verge, to be fair, of being sacked once upon a time at Reading. And I changed the system, and I changed the system to a 4-2-3-1. And with this system, I thought I'd give Mite a try on the right-hand side. That was it, guys. 6 games into the season, I think it was. Oh, he was out-muscling everyone. He was being a bully. And not only that, he was creating and scoring goals that actually won me promotion. If you've never used this guy before, I strongly recommend you use him in the Championship. Or maybe I don't mean to be disrespectful, like a French First Division, or maybe a lower league side in Spain, Germany. You get the idea. He would do a good job, because let's not forget, guys, the Championship is a very competitive, hard league. I must admit, when I did get promoted with Reading, he wasn't, I don't want to use the term he wasn't as good, or he wasn't as successful in the Premier League as he was in the Championship, but you know, it's a different world, it's a different level in the Premier League. So for me, this guy comes in at number 4 due to his strength. Right guys, now you've seen number 4. If you like it, seriously consider this guy. It will get you to where you need to go. He'll get you to the Premier League. That's what you need to know. Right, without further ado guys, let's go to number 3 on our list. On the list is Lucas João, also had him at Reading FC. Don't worry, the other 2 are not from Reading FC, I can assure you. This is just how it worked. So Lucas João we have was, again, there was something about this guy. Alright, he's got a few, decent scores with his heading and long shots, got 15 flair, finishing of only 13 and a composure of 13. So it doesn't stand out like you would expect. He is a I want to call him like a silent assassin with goals. Like I say, you've got a finishing of 13, a composure of 13, and a pace of 12 in the Championship when we take over at Reading FC. However, his goal tally was very good for 2 seasons. Again, he's a sort of striker. He will get any Championship side out of trouble. And maybe if you're starting off in the Premier League with a lower league team that's expected to struggle against relegation, no disrespect, the likes of like a West Brom or somebody like that. If you was to get this guy, I'm certain he would get you a good handful, good dozen goals a season to help keep you up. We are going to go from the season we signed him, as you can see. So he made 37 appearances in the first season we had him, scoring 22 times in the league, a total of 27 times all season, with 5 assists. Honestly, use this guy. Him and the player in position 4, Mite, they worked so well together. It was a partnership from heaven. It was absolutely wonderful. And just look at his average ratings per game. It's not a single 6 there. 7s, you know. His lowest average rating per game is 7.17. I mean, for a striker in the Championship, you're not going to get much more than that. Number 2, Adam Armstrong from Blackburn. So when you first start this game, Football Manager 21, he is at Blackburn. As you can see, he is currently at West Bromwich Albion. I've just clicked on his name. We're going to go through him that way. I used this guy at the very, very beginning on a beta save. On a save that I actually put on to YouTube. It's on my channel. You can have a look at that right now if you just want to click on the suggested items in the top right corner. So I had Adam Armstrong at my save at Blackburn Rovers, and although his stats don't really look that appealing, well, not his stats, his attributes, he actually played for me when he was at Blackburn. He scored 23 goals in the first season, and I didn't realise how clinical he was. Again, his composure is 13 to 15. His finishing was 14. So bearing in mind, this isn't one of my saves. He is my second highest player best player I've ever used on Football Manager 2021. Not always, just 21 so far. Now, I have used Manchester United, I've used Barcelona, but these are players outside the top flight. And this guy, I promise you, his current ability is 3-star, potential is 5. I know he's 26 years of age, there's still room for improvement. So I would really recommend getting this guy. I also had him on another save I did when I was a Premier League side. I wouldn't say I was fighting for survival, but I was lurking around 12th to 15th place, and I signed this guy not knowing if he was going to be gun shy or if he was going to be gung ho. Didn't really have an idea, but for the funds I had available to me, I managed to purchase this guy for around £9 million. It was the best £9 million I'd ever spent on this game. I promise you, I shit you not. This guy I signed for around £9 million. First season he scored 6 goals. The second season he scored 29 goals and came second in the top goal scorer. And that was big enough and good enough for the team I was managing. My expectations for the season was to survive. We finished 7th place because of his goals and got into Europe. Alright, don't get me wrong. We were shit when we got into Europe that season. The following season, he wasn't that good in Europe, but he maintained a good goal-scoring record in the Premier League with 16 goals that season. So he's gone from 29, I think it was, to 16. Different players. We lost some good players. Couldn't really be helped. And unfortunately, we had to let him go to another club, a bigger club than us. And we managed to cash in and get £22 million. So this guy is a great investment to make money on within 2 or 3 seasons. So, you know, he scored near on 50 goals for me in 2 seasons. You can't knock it. It was absolutely fantastic. So I really strongly advise you guys, on number 2 on my list, Adam Armstrong. Don't miss out. If you've got the money in the bank, pay it, sign him up. He will keep you in the Premier League, or actually get you to the Premier League, and then keep you in the Premier League, probably on his own. So please don't miss this opportunity to sign this guy. Adam Armstrong, number 2 on my list. So there we have it. We are down to number 1 on the list. So let's just have a little recap at what we have. So we had Yaku Mite coming in at number 4 from Reading FC. Good, strong, inside forward from Reading. Get him on your books. That brings us down to number 3. And while we're in Reading, let's stay at Reading. We have Lucas João, the goal scorer, the goal machine in the Championship. Get him on your books. Get him scoring goals for you, and just get him in. That's it. Then we come down to number 2. Armstrong, Adam, Blackburn Rovers. Honestly, he's another goal machine. He's another level. The 2 players we saw on 4 and 3, forget about him in that sense. This guy is another level. I didn't realise how good he was. And that nicely drifts us in for number 1. So guys, who could it be? I did say earlier on we are crossing the channel. So it means one thing only. We are not having a player from the UK. This player plays in the boot of Europe. Anybody know where that is? Where? Correct. Italy. Let's head over to Italy for our number 1 in this episode. Let's get over and check out number 1. We are now at number 1. Our number 1 choice of this episode is, well, you can see him there as Christie. His name is Andrea Sistana, and he is at Brescia when we first start the game. Trust me, guys, if you're looking for a centre-half, this guy is absolutely immense. So, in this current save and other saves I've done, and I've had this player, the way I set up my attacking corners and free kicks, this guy gets you goals. His average rating is always around a good 7. I mean, as you can see, Serie B at the bottom of the screen, he's on an average rating of 7.6, 7.30 and 7.38, and also 7.36 in the previous games. So I promise you, this guy, top-notch performer, cracking centre-half, mainly right-footed, likes to play right-side central. He can play there. He does a job so well. So I had him when I was in Brescia when I decided to do a save over there. Called the Italian Job. You can check it out now. Suggestions will be on the top of the screen. And this guy does really well. So what I've done with these players, I've gone on my top 4 list. I've sort of simulated them, and every time I simulated this guy, which was 3 times, he ended up at a top European club within 2 years of starting the game, valued at around £26 million before he is 24 years of age. And I carried on with one other team, and he broke through, and he was 39.5 million. Now, in the scheme of things, excuse me, 39.5 million doesn't seem that great. But you think this guy is playing in the second league of the Italian football. His current ability when you join is 4-star. He then does become 4.5 to 5-star. So we've had this guy, and he's gone on to produce top quality performances for Roma, Juventus, Manchester City and Arsenal. I promise you people, if you are looking for a centre-half with fantastic jumping reach of 15, balance of 14, strength of 14, and he only gets better. His strength goes up to 17, 18, I think it was, or something ridiculous within 6 years' time. He's immense. Honestly, I promise you. You can pick this guy up for around £2.4 million. He will sort your defence. He will control it. He will win you games. He will probably get you 8 points a season on his own just by having him there in your squad. He is really, really good. So, guys, that's my top 4, Mr. Cudley's top 4 best players outside the Premier League that I have personally used. If you've enjoyed this video, guys, please thumbs up, give me some subscribes, and feel free to make comments. I'm certainly open to listening to comments from you guys on players you think would be in your top 4, or maybe players that I may have missed. Well, there's going to be players I've missed, I'm sure of it, but these 4 people are my 4 go-to players, guys, if I'm outside the Premier League. Trust me, get any one of these 4 in and they will make so much difference to your team as long as you play them in their specific roles they need and want to play. You can't fail. You really, really can't. So I'm going to take you back to Mr. Cudley sat at his desk, but from me, Invisible Mr. Cudley, I'll catch you on the other side. Cheers, Mr. Invisible. Right, so guys, that is our countdown done. This has been Well, for me, it's been great reliving some of these players I've used. Once again, I'll reiterate, I'll keep saying it. Use these 4 players in their specific positions. I promise you guys, they won't let you down. Try them if you're in the Championship. Just try them, get them on loan, whatever you need to do. Maybe Armstrong will be difficult to get on loan, but maybe you could go to Blackburn, use him, and then maybe bring our number one choice, Andriana Sistana, over to your club. Honestly, he's immense. They're immense. I really hope you've enjoyed this. From me, Mr. Cuddly. Until we meet again, it's over and out, guys. Thanks for watching.